Hey everyone, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, and today we're going to be going through my portfolio on Blockfolio / FTX, as well as just what I've graphed myself. But essentially, with all the craziness going on in the market right now, with El Salvador accepting Bitcoin as legal tender, and then a subsequent dip in the markets, I wanted to sort of recollect and take a step back. I think it's important to, when in doubt, zoom out and kind of look at the long-term play here, substantiate ourselves in what's actually going on. And I think it's good to take some time to actually see. I mean, you can make an insane amount of money just by playing this out, holding, not really having to be super active with your investing. And I want to show you guys how essentially I was able to more than 10x my crypto in less than a year. So let's jump into that after a quick word from my sponsor. A big thank you and shout out to my sponsor Cake Wallet, which is an open source, non-custodial Bitcoin and Monero wallet that also has a built-in exchange. It's available on iOS and Android. All right, thanks again to my sponsor. So this is my Blockfolio / FTX account. You can see we are up 1% in the last 24 hours, but just before that, I had dipped quite a bit with my portfolio. I was down about $25,000 or so, around 10%. And this is in Canadian dollars, by the way. You can see, though, with my portfolio as it is now, Ethereum is way above my Bitcoin, which is interesting because when I originally bought it, it was a 60-40 on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and now it's essentially flipped. I've also got a few other coins, small bags, but they're mainly just for transactions and being able to buy things if needed. I also have a little bit of LBC as a speculative play, but that's a pretty small holding. If I actually bring up the entire portfolio here and show you the yearly chart, you can see just a year ago, I had only $15,000 in crypto. And while I have been dollar cost averaging in and earning crypto and doing a bunch of different things, it's pretty crazy what you can do when you really just go all in on crypto. Mind you, I'm somewhat of a special case because I was doing everything possible, being very extreme with my frugality to save money and then invest all of that into crypto. I've been investing about 65% of all of my income into crypto, or at least investing into stocks. And as you can see, it's played out very, very well for me. Before this, I barely had a portfolio. It was tiny, and I wasn't expecting to grow my wealth exponentially. But as you can see, being diligent with your crypto and consistent and dollar cost averaging in is a very easy way to build wealth over time. And as it appreciates, as we go through halving cycles, it becomes that much more important to get in and stay in as long as you possibly can, because the longer time spent in the markets, typically the more money you're able to earn from doing so. Mind you, none of this is actually financial advice. This is financial entertainment, if you will. But I think it's always important, especially when we have a lot of volatility in the markets, to kind of just take a step back and look at things and reevaluate what's going on. Because I believe currently that we're in alt season and we're nearing the end of our current halving cycle. So I think there's going to be some crazy swings in price over the next 30 days, maybe the next 45 days, but it's going to be very, very significant. And it's going to be very important to keep watching this and keep on top of the markets for what's going on. But if you're not trying to be that active with your investing, it's very easy to just dollar cost average into crypto, specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum, every month, or every time you get paid, to just allocate a small amount of that into crypto, or even just investing in general. But obviously, if you're trying to get exponential gains like I've achieved, you would have to do that with cryptocurrency. Now, also keep in mind, if you're in Canada, you can invest through a TFSA in ETFs, which will allow you to kind of get around any issues around tax and make your life a lot easier. But if you're going to be investing in something like Wealth Simple or PayPal, through any kind of stock exchange medium that isn't selling ETFs and you're buying crypto directly, that's the worst way you could buy crypto because you can't withdraw it. You want to buy it directly from an exchange or a brokerage or whatever and actually withdraw the crypto and hold it in a wallet you control. Because then you could have tons of crazy things happen to you. So for example, this chart would say $100,000 more had I taken out my $300 of Doge off of Cryptopia exchange, which was about 1 million Doge at the time. And had I taken that out and not left it on the exchange, and then the exchange got hacked or whatever happened and it went down, I would still have that 1 million Doge, or maybe I would have sold it. But if I'd sold it at the peak, it would have been over $100,000. So, you definitely want to do the correct security practices and best practices around holding crypto, storing crypto, all those things. And I've covered that in many other videos. But when we're talking about holding through dips, it's pretty crazy that when you look at this chart, I can remember all the situations around these dips when I was down 20,000 or 10,000. But now looking back at the chart, these seem like very insignificant dips. Even the massive $100,000 unrealized loss that I took from right here when Elon started tweeting about energy use and all the FUD about Bitcoin that we know isn't really valid. You can see if you just waited a few months, you're right back where you would have been previously. And that's exactly where I am now. There was a lot of people that ended up panic selling and taking a loss after this little section right here. And it's really unfortunate to see because, as we've always basically seen in the past, the longer you stay in the market, the better off you are. I already know this though, because I invested a small amount into Bitcoin in 2017 and I rode through the original crash, went through 4 years of that, and then went all in on crypto in the past couple of years. And as you can see, it's definitely working out currently. I don't expect everyone to see gains like this, but the point is that if you stay diligent with your investing, you have a strategy, you stick to it, you dollar cost average in, you do it the least risky way possible, because as I've said many times, crypto is already extremely risky and you don't need to add to your risk. You're trying to minimize it. So you want to stick to some of the top coins. For me, that's really mainly just Bitcoin and Ethereum for long-term growth investing. And as you can see, again, like with this portfolio, there's many times where you could have gone concerned and then wanted to sell out. But taking a step back, zooming out on the charts is always a really good way to kind of recollect yourself and just ground yourself back to a more rational standpoint. Because if you follow in crypto at all over the past few years, you know that just holding and letting Bitcoin do its thing in the markets is probably one of the safest ways you can go about it. It seems very arbitrary, but being less involved with the daily charts is how you'll be able to like not stress as much about it, not be so focused on the changes, not worry about the price changes. Mind you, I do keep up with it, but I don't let it affect me. I mean, obviously I was a little disappointed seeing my account go down 100,000, but I had such high enough conviction in crypto that I knew we were going to get back to where we were. And here we are now. Mind you, we've had a little bit of a pullback, but crypto is still going to keep doing its thing. And I still believe that in the next 30 to 45 days, we're going to see some of the craziest volatility in crypto that we've not seen for quite some time, since the last bull run, essentially. I also wanted to share with you guys the charts that I've been collecting myself and keeping as of July 2020. You can see on the charts here, I was only tracking this as of the monthly close for each month, but rather so February was the beginning of February, so it was kind of tracking the previous month's monthly close. But either way, these were only being tracked every month. And if you just worry about the monthly closes, most of the time you're seeing crypto going up. I mean, there's always going to be little pullbacks every now and then, but when you zoom out, it's always generally trending upwards. You don't see those crazy volatile pumps on this chart because it's just every month. I think the longer you space out when you're tracking, the more of an obvious upward trend it kind of shows you. And it's not just to track this and then say, oh, well, like this is when it was good and here's the best data ever. And it's kind of like cherry picking. It's more of, I mean, A, this was what I did and it was successful and it worked. And B, I've been following a very safe, proven strategy, not, random altcoin investing, not trying to get lucky, sticking to the strategy, sticking to the investment rules that I've laid out, and just, keeping my head down and working and earning crypto and doing everything. So the only reason I wanted to make this video was simply to just talk about what's been going on in the market and to just kind of help people get back to a more rational mindset and standpoint for what's going on in the market and where things are headed. Of course, I can't tell the future or anything like that, but I can probably bet that in the next 5 to 10 years, the top two cryptocurrencies are still going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't know in which order, but I know that they'll probably still be up there. So, I invest accordingly. And I'd love to hear from you guys. What kind of gains are you seeing? How's your portfolio been playing out in the last little while? How have you fared through Elon Musk's all that nonsense and what we just saw recently with a little bit of a pullback? What do you think is going to happen over the next 2 months or so? Where do you think the all-time high is going to land? And are you bullish or bearish on crypto? I've currently got my sights set on Bitcoin for 150,000 and Ethereum for 15,000, but that's just what I'm kind of looking at. Let me know your predictions. I'd love to hear them in the comments below. And since you watched to the very end, I would greatly appreciate it if you commented #1ham in the comments below. And that way I know you watched to the very end. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, signing off. Cheers.